I answered my boyfriend's hidden phone during my mother's funeral, and everything quietly collapsed. Afterward, I almost dropped the casserole dish when the second phone started vibrating inside Evan's jacket pocket. The bathroom shower was running hard enough to shake the thin apartment walls, and for a second I thought the sound belonged to somebody else upstairs. Then it buzzed again from the chair beside me. I stared at his jacket for maybe 5 seconds before touching it. My mother had been buried 6 hours earlier. My black funeral dress still smelled like cold air and cigarette smoke from relatives outside the church. There were paper plates stacked across the kitchen counter, half-melted ice in the sink, and a sympathy bouquet drooping near the window. Because neither of us remembered to add water, the phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I answered without thinking. A woman immediately said, "Are you finally going to tell her, or do I need to?" I didn't speak. There was this awful silence where both of us seemed to realize something at exactly the same moment. Then she whispered, "Oh my God, you're not Evan." I remember gripping the counter so hard my fingers cramped. I asked who she was, but my voice sounded strangely calm. She laughed once, not mean, nervous. "I'm probably the woman he spends Thursdays with." The shower kept running. I wish I could say I screamed or threw something dramatic, but I mostly just stood there staring at the greasy microwave while she explained pieces of my own relationship to me. She knew about my mother dying. She knew Evan skipped Thanksgiving with her family because he needed to support me. She knew he hated mushrooms and slept with a pillow between his knees because of an old basketball injury. At one point she stopped talking and quietly asked, "Did you really not know?" That question hurt worse than everything else, because I didn't know, not even a little. Evan and I had been together 4 years. We shared rent, grocery lists, passwords, dumb routines. Every Sunday morning he made coffee before I woke up because I liked hearing the grinder from bed. I genuinely thought that meant safety. When he came out of the bathroom, his hair was still wet. I was sitting at the kitchen table with the phone in front of me. He looked at it once and went pale. Nobody says anything believable in moments like that. People don't deliver clean confessions. They stall, they grab details, they say useless things. He asked why I touched his stuff. Then he asked what exactly she told me. Then he sat down slowly like he was the injured one. Apparently her name was Celia. Apparently it started 11 months earlier after some work conference in Minneapolis. Apparently he tried ending it multiple times. Apparently he still loved me. I remember laughing so suddenly I scared myself. My mother spent the last 3 months of her life forgetting names, losing weight, apologizing for becoming difficult. I slept in hospital chairs while Evan rubbed my back and told nurses I hadn't eaten enough. I trusted him during the ugliest period of my entire life, and the whole time he was carrying another phone. He cried harder than I did that night. That's the part people never understand when I tell this story now. He genuinely cried. Huge, shaking sobs that made me briefly feel guilty for him. Around 3 in the morning, after hours of arguing in circles, he fell asleep on the couch. I sat on the floor beside the coffee table and opened the hidden phone again. There were hundreds of messages. Photos from restaurants I never visited. Complaints about me during my mother's chemotherapy appointments. Jokes about how emotional I'd become lately. One message said, "I miss who you were before all the death stuff." I read that sentence maybe 20 times. Then I quietly packed a duffel bag while he slept 10 feet away. I stayed with my cousin for 2 months afterward. Evan kept emailing long apologies that somehow always included explanations about his stress, confusion, loneliness, childhood issues. Celia eventually left him too. Last winter, I saw them separately in the same grocery store within 10 minutes of each other. Neither noticed me. Sometimes I still wake up thinking I hear that second phone vibrating somewhere nearby. My mother is still dead. Evan is still alive. And somehow that remains the hardest part to accept.